Calmsden farm, and I seem to have lost the little intro clip, so we're winging it a little bit. Just up at the BGA, filling up with some more silage before we get on to harvesting our first field. The barley is ready, so that's going to be the main job for today. I also forgot to speed the time up, so I do get that sorted in a moment. It's I slow it down between recordings just because it tends to take me a few minutes to get my bearings again before we restart. Not many of these bales left now, but we do have the fresh silage pit fermenting, which is kind of cool. We've still got all of the bales that we kept for feed, so the silage we have fermenting is going to go to the BGA as well. Yeah, really cool to be getting first harvest done on here, and it's a step towards us being able to move to version 1.2 of the map, although we do have to wait until the sugar beets are ready. So yeah, a little bit of patience there needed. While we throw these bales in, I say thank you to the channel members, because I've been really bad at doing that lately, so I'm going to get it in early, and I need to remember to put it in when I edit the video. Yeah. Really appreciate you guys, and also thank you to Hilly Farms, who is the first member of Patreon, my very first patron. Thank you ever so much for your support to the channel. And I cannot get around that turn at least one time without dropping a bale off. Did better. I'm working on driving slower everywhere. Although one thing I have found that's really frustrating since, I think it's the 1.4 update, vehicles reverse really slowly. Unless you're going in a straight line, they go incredibly slowly, which is kind of frustrating when you play like I do and you like to drive everywhere relatively fast. Oh well. I think probably one more set of bales in here and we will be good. Haven't had to play with it much yet, but we've had the AGI pack for a while now, and one of the really cool things I've noticed for that is, for the average player it makes no difference, but it's a DLC, so it's typically in an encrypted locked data file. But if you go onto the Giants developer page, they've released an unencrypted version, so that if you want to make mods that make use of the features that are in that DLC, you can, which is really cool. So from my understanding, the big difference with that is by releasing it as a DLC, for console players, it doesn't count as counting against your mod space because it's not a mod. So actually it's a really interesting way of doing it, and then releasing the data separately so modders can make use of it. I think it's maybe the way forwards. And a nice thing about precision farming being a mod is you can edit it, which I kind of like, but maybe that's the better way to go, is to release it as a DLC and then give modders access to the data that they need to be able to do things with the content as well. I think that is a big step forwards from Giants to make that available. We're going to grab the combine while we're up here. This trailer doesn't seem to turn particularly well, and from memory I don't think it fits on the back of the combine, which is why I've put it on the back of the JCB. And the plan was to use follow me to get this back to the yard, but that didn't seem to want to work. I don't know if it's the combine or the JCB or both, but I could not get follow me to work with these, so I have to drive each one back separately. Probably the JCB. I think telehandlers are generally a bit funny with things like follow me. I remember in FS19 the Merlot wouldn't work with follow me, so maybe it's that. Maybe it's something to do with the telehandler class of vehicles. So I'm going to get these back down to the yard, and I'll see you down there. We need to put some fuel in the combine, and then we can get this field harvested. So back down at the yard. Quick bit of fuel in the combine, and then first harvest. For now I'm going to keep the grain because growing barley for TMR with Maize Plus, and if we get Maize Plus before the year's out, we'll make use of it. If not, we'll sell it. And the volume we get, so I've been pondering adding in the transport missions, but I'm not sure we get enough yield to be able to fulfill any of those, and playing on hard difficulty is really not worth selling the crops. They're not worth that much. Don't particularly want to get into productions on here, so yeah, we wait for Maize Plus, which is close. It is close, but it's, yeah, there's a few features that are still needed to be sorted for that. Working on a video looking at the seed potato factory from Dazed, which is turning into one of my favourite mods. I'm playing with it on multiplayer, and it's really cool. It's really good fun. Physics are really well done, so the pallet stacking works really well, and probably going to have a video out on that early next week. And if you're a fan of Maize Plus, then Dazed is starting to, or looking to, work with the farming agency with stuff in the future. And although it won't be integrated in release, I will be doing, or plan to do, hopefully, an Animal Food Editions update, which will make use of the waste potatoes that come as part of that mod, because I think using those in animal feed is going to be a really good way to go. So yeah, into the first harvest of the barley. Not playing with precision farming yet. I'm waiting until we've got all our crops harvested before I add that in, although with the update to precision farming maybe I could, because one of the things they've done in the update is change it so that when you add it to an existing save, you get better starting nitrogen and lime levels. So I might have a look at that, because I'm kind of enjoying playing with it on Greenlands. One of the other changes they've made is they have reduced the amount of nitrogen you need for grass significantly, from around 180 to 200 down to about 50 units of nitrogen, which is a huge change, and really cool, really good. Makes it very easy to fertilize grass now with organic fertilizers like manure, slurry, digestate, and because grass doesn't worry about over fertilization, you could put a good layer of manure, digestate or slurry on there, and your grass will be done. Which I think, yes, this is a really positive step, particularly with the not being able to use the grass roller. Maybe that gets around it. But yeah, really like that change. Particularly, mowing grass 3-4 times a year, having to get it back up to 200 units of nitrogen each time was a bit steep, I think. But yeah, really pleased with that. Really good, positive change. They did say that they changed it so that mulching and rolling worked with precision farming, but my experience, because they're talking about the seeding roller, not the grassland roller, is that they both worked already. So I don't know. Maybe they've changed the grassland roller. I hope not. I don't want to have to do another video on rolling grass. I have done far too many of those at the moment. Yes, trying to do more Let's Play videos at the moment, because I'm short of ideas on tutorials. Actually, no, I'm not. I do have a list of tutorial type videos that I want to work on, and those are on my Patreon page if you want to see those. But I'm enjoying playing Farm Sim rather than doing tutorials, and I know when Maize Plus comes out I will be deep into making tutorial videos for quite a long time. So yeah, it's nice to actually play and make progress on here. So this episode is the first year done, and it's nice to get that far through a game and not wanting to stop either. So I did the Ravenwood Dairy series, and I think I played about a year on there and I was done. Survival Challenge, I did about a year, was done. I'm planning to do years on this save. I think the only thing that would make me jump sooner is Court Farms. Oxy has released some pictures of that this week. Wow, that map looks good. So it's another map based on real world. It's based on part of Somerset, So yeah, it looks really good. It's released some general pictures and then started to release some pictures of some of the farms, and they look good. They do look good. And also Bullet Bill has released pictures of his map, which is on the border of England and Wales, and looks really good as well. We are going to be spoiled for choice for good maps soon. And yeah, that might make me switch, although I might stop Greenlands if that was the case. I'm not saying that I'm not enjoying the Greenlands series at all, but that will come to a natural conclusion anyway when we're not massively in debt. So, whereas this series won't have a natural conclusion. So what I did in FS19 was roll it onto another map, and it then did stop because it got a bit big, and I found it a bit unwieldy. But I think, yeah, we'll keep this one going for a while. I played the FS19 when I did the Sandy Bay series, which this is it was kind of an equivalent of. I did 5 game years on there, so yeah, we've got lots to go still. I'm going to use the little Massey trailer for the grain carting because I felt like a change from using the big Flegel trailer. We'll be using that we used that for the grass silage. We're going to be using that for the corn silage as well, which is the next video. I think the corn is at a point where we can silage it, so yeah, we'll be doing that next video. Now I'll just leave the canola and the sugar beets to harvest, and more grass to do. So probably through August, the plan is harvest the barley, obviously, we're doing that now. Cut the corn for silage, and then the other 2 grass fields we haven't done yet, I might bale for hay. And I think we're going to put in the TMR sell point and have a look at whether we can start selling some TMR. Maybe I can buy an auger from the AGI pack to use to get the TMR from the mixer into the big trailer quickly. That might work, because those augers are bulk. They pick up everything, which is really cool, and there's one that picks up from the floor, which is really nice. Been using that in my testing of the seed potato factory mod, and it's really good. It's not that expensive either. It seems to have quite a big pickup area, which means I might not have to use, so I have used it a lot. I'm using it on Greenland, an edited version of the Grimmy belt, which picks up off the floor, because it's really helpful. And that it's a Westfield auger, and that does that automatically, so maybe seeing that on more of my series. It seems to have quite a big pickup rate as well. So into the time lapse now. It might be obvious, it might not be, I don't know. Have you noticed yet? All of the commentary is being recorded after the video, because that's just how it worked out. Yeah, it'll crack into getting this field harvested now. There's another mod that I have added to this series. I think I added it between this video and the next one, is the manure fix. So that's a PC only mod, which fixes the fact that in base game the animals don't produce as much manure as they should. Now when I was doing my experiments with horses and horses producing manure, there's something called a straw factor in each animal pen, which has no effect, and I think that's the bit that's not working. So basically what that should do, I think, is control how much manure you get based on using straw, and it doesn't seem to work. I think that's what they're fixing. But it basically gives you just over double the amount of manure out compared to base game, so that's going to be good because we can then use that on our grass, or we can take it to the BGA. Probably going to take it to the BGA if I'm honest. Although I do want to do a mixture of things, so maybe we will keep it and use it for fertilizing in the winter. Get a layer of manure down before winter. We'll see. I want to do so with the grass work. So last time we did grass, I did digestate rather than just rolling again. I want to do different things with the fertilizing rather than just break a roller out. Particularly with precision farm, when we had precision farming, and we won't be able to roll anyway. But I'll probably still do a mixture. I might do a bit of solid fur, a bit of manure, a bit of slurry, a bit of digestate. Just so it's not always the same. Having a look at what contracts are available. Cartech wants his grass mown and I think turned into hay. We may get to that at the end of the month. It depends whether I have time. I have 2 big grass fields of my own to do. And actually, think about it, I said we've got the field of soybeans as well to harvest, which I'd forgotten about, which is up behind the store. They're not ready yet either. They won't be ready for a month or so. But yeah, those are something we will probably be looking to sell. It should be worth something, hopefully. Hard difficulty is crushing the value of selling things, but equally we're making loads of money off the contracting, so it's not like we're short of cash. So it's kind of a balance. I don't know. Should I leave it on hard difficulty? I'm not struggling for cash on here, so yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Should I leave it on hard, or should we go back to normal difficulty? This was me just pausing to check something on my phone, I think. Don't combine and phone, people. It's dangerous. But I wanted to record most of this harvest because it's the first harvest and the field wasn't very big and I was kind of enjoying driving it. And the plus is that it means we've got half a day left. By the time we've finished harvesting and baling, we still have half the day left, which is cool because that means we can get the silaging started on the first day of August. Plan to use courseplay to run the forage harvester, but I've got a horrible feeling that the field with the corn in is the field that I couldn't get courseplay to work on. Now we've had several updates of courseplay since then, so it might be okay. If not, we're probably going to have to do follow me again, which I really enjoyed using, so that's not a problem, but I wanted to try courseplay. Not going to be using auto drive to car, I think, with actually not so much of a problem. So later on, full combine. Later on in the video, I'm going to be doing the bit of yard work that I mentioned, because we need another bunker silo. So I'm going to get a shed and a bunker silo put in on the corner where all my kit is dumped at the moment. I decided to do that as well. If we go to Maize Plus, we're going to need 2, maybe 3 bunkers at some point. So generally with Maize Plus, I would do maize silage and grass silage. I wouldn't do whole crop silage so much, and we don't have clover and alfalfa on here. And we can bale the maize with Maize Plus, so we could make maize silage bales, but at the moment, that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the pit in. The reason I want to separate it is when we get Maize Plus, when I do the conversion over, I will try and keep that pit as maize silage. Then with base game it'll just be silage, and probably that means when you add Maize Plus in, it'll turn into whole crop silage, and I may just accept that. We'll see. We'll see when Maize Plus comes, as to how it fits in with me moving maps and updating and stuff, because my kind of theory is that if I have to go and if I do it when I do the 1.2 conversion, I can just tip in the right crop into the bunker and let it ferment. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Combine full again. And yeah, I think actually that's harvest done. So you need to get the straw baled now. And I did mention that I was looking at a replacement for the Ford, and we're going to take a trip up to the store because there are a couple of options that I have been considering, and I'm going to borrow a little bit of money and we're going to get ourselves a Case Puma Stage 4B, I think it is. And we're going to get it in black. We're going to get the base 225 horsepower. We don't need more than that at the moment. We can always get the engine tuned up later. We're going to get it with the front loader attacher. I think it looks really cool in black. We have the option to tune it much higher when we've got more cash, and sadly the Ford is going. Fans of the Ford, I'm sorry, this is a much better, it's a much nicer tractor in my mind. I love the Ford. I hate the gearbox, and the Case has got a CVT gearbox, so it's going to make my life easier for using things like Horseplay. It gives us a bigger, more powerful tractor, so it's going to fit the trailer better. And the farm I was on with work a few years ago, it was last year actually, they had a black, they had a gloss black Puma, and it was so nice. this is matte black, and matte black is cool. So yeah, brought the front loader as well, because this is useful if we to have the 2 options for a front loader. And we're going to run the baler with this guy, which is probably overkill, but you know, it's a new track today, so it's brought with 28 hours on, which is, you know, it's not a lot on a tractor. And it actually is in reasonably good condition, doesn't need a repair yet, so we can just crack on. And we're upgrading, so this will be much better on the big trailer when we're doing the silage. The Fendt really struggled with, it's a flat field to be using, but coming up the hill on field 8, the Fendt really struggled. The trailer really bosses it about when it's full, so we did need to upgrade to a bigger trailer, and that was such a good price. I can't actually remember what it was. I think it was about 70 grand, which, you know, is pretty nice. Wasn't paying attention, I was just excited that we could afford it. So we have borrowed a bit more money, but we can repay that with contracts, and we've got the PGA going at the moment, so not too worried there. Just return the bit that we didn't need on the loan. Almost like having a really big credit card limit, isn't it? Kind of cool. There we go. Making 180 centimetre bales, which are 11,000 litres of straw, which means we're not getting an insane amount of bales, which is quite nice because we're going to just manually clear them off to the rest of the straw bales. I could probably have sold the straw at this point, but with, again, this save is all set up around Maize Plus, and with Maize Plus, the animals will use a lot more straw and produce a lot more manure. So keeping the straw at this point seems sensible to me. If we get any more harvest contracts that have straw, then we will sell that straw off, because the extra cash we got was really useful. Not going to take us too long to get this baled up. I can't remember how many bales we get. We'll see. Wasn't that many though. It was enough that me manually clearing them off the field wasn't too painful. And it meant I didn't have to load them onto a trailer because the field is right next to where we're storing them. I guess that's why farmers quite often store hay bales around the fields, because it saves you a bit of work. You know, you can store them there and then move them as you need them. I guess it's not taking up space on the farm either. I know some of the areas that I used to go running in a couple of years ago, they used to store the hay bales way away from the farm, near the fields but not in the fields, in absolutely monstrous stacks. I don't think I have any pictures left. I think I posted some on Discord. It was probably a good 2 or 3 years ago now. Less than 2. Maybe last year. No, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. It was I want to say it was pre-COVID. But then I wasn't playing Farm Sim, so not sure. Lost track of time completely. Oh well. Last little bit to get in the baler. So we're not going to finish the bale, but it's our baler, so we can just leave it in the baler. Not a problem at all. And we'll just grab the JCB and get these all in the shed. Forgotten where I'd left the JCB. Thankfully it's got the bale spike on, so not too bad a job to get these cleared up. Could do with moving the cocklinger forward slightly. The source of much amusement on multiplayer with Cartech. And then if you watch Mr. CDP, he pronounces it slightly different. Yes, I assume he's accounting for the accent on the O, whereas I'm a child and don't. And an uneducated heathen. Speaking of languagey stuff, I don't think it made it into... I think when I spoke about it last time, I ended up having to delete it because the commentary was awful. But so I've been working on learning German very slowly. I'm using Duolingo. Thank you, Smock Farmer, for that recommendation. It's really slow progress, but it's quite amusing as someone who I did German at school for a year. And then, so in the UK, you have to do a language up to the age of 16. And when I started secondary school, I got put into French, and so I did French for GCSE, so the exams that we do at 16 in the UK. But you also do a year of German, and yeah, I did not enjoy languages as a kid. I didn't see the point in learning them because I was interested in maths and science, and now I'm learning a language because of a video game that I play. How life changes, huh? I don't think I could I don't think I could hold a conversation or do anything useful, but I'm learning slowly. So we're going to clear off all the kit we've got abandoned, and we're going to see if we can get a shed in the corner here, which I originally cleared this spot of trees with that intent. And then we're going to put a bunker in as well. We found a nice cheap little bunker silo, which should do us for the maize, hopefully. Actually having doubts now, because maize yields a lot. I guess we'll find out in the next video. I had a bit of fun placing this because the building that I'm using, although it does level areas, it didn't seem to be leveling it very well. So I paint everything and level it reasonably well. Can't get rid of that bush in the middle, but it kind of works out okay. Yeah, can't get rid of that one. Don't know why. And then we level it off. I place it once, delete it because I wasn't very happy. Place it again, wasn't very happy. So quit out and quit the game, reload, and I think I end up placing it off camera because it does take me a bit of time to get this building in. It's from the steel sheds pack, and it's only £3.5 grand, and it's quite a nice size and fits quite well. But yeah, I wasn't happy with that at all, and once it was placed I couldn't landscape under it, which is kind of weird because it doesn't landscape very well. I did go in and look in the mod, and it looks like it should work. So whether it's because I'm placing it next to buildings and walls and stuff, and that's limiting what the game will landscape. Yeah, attempt number 2 is trying to level this corner off a bit more. I did plan to put a BGA in here, but oh well. I think we need the shed space, and we definitely need the bunker space. So nope, still not happy. Reloaded it, got it placed, and this is the bunker that I found. So it's £5 grand. I can't remember which mod pack it's in, but I think pretty sure it's on Mod Hub. And it actually says it's a manure heap. I'm now kind of worried. Yeah, I've put a manure heap down. We might have to have a look at that off camera and fix it. I'm sure that was a bunker. Oh well, that's a bit annoying. Anyway, we'll get everything put back in the shed, and between videos I will try and sort out the fact that I put a manure pit down when I thought it was a bunker silo. I'm confused. Oh well, we all make mistakes, don't we? It looks like a bunker silo. But this gives us a load of space to put our kit under cover now rather than leaving it outside, which is cool. The flatbed trailer I'm going to store over by the slurry pit because that doesn't need to be in the shed really. Yeah, it gives us a bit more space. So frustrated that I didn't spot that manure pit when I was putting it in. I think it was just dealing with the frustration of doing the landscaping. So annoying. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. Hope you found this video useful. Probably not educational. And if you enjoyed it, click the like button, leave me a comment. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you next time.